So if you ask me how I incorporate it in my work, or how I incorporate my thoughts on the usage of the term in my work, this book is my response to that. I wrote this last book with that in mind. So, overall, I mean, N-word, wow. You know, like we have thin cell phones, and now we have, you know, iPod Nanos and iPod Shuffles and all these little, it gets smaller and smaller, and it contains so much information, you know? To me, the word nigga is like that. It says it all. It truly does. It does the job. It makes, you know, the white people feel uncomfortable when we say it because they feel like they can. And it intimidates, it brings about, we remember our history, like we know where it comes from. You know, I would imagine that that doing away with words would kind of be like burning books. I'm not really for it. You know, I see, you know, I don't think that history or the present is linear. Like, that thing hurt me, never use it again. You know? Like, penises and muscles have been used to rape. They also are used, you know, to procreate and to make love and to stimulate it. There's so much power, I find, in taking this thing that was used as a whip and using it as a belt. Now, am I pro? No, I'm not pro it either. I just noticed that it ain't going nowhere. You know, because it's only in these circles where that question is raised. There are no real cats on the corner like, yo nigga, what you think of the word nigga? That's why I say it ain't going nowhere. You know? You know? Now, of course, some of us could work at creating the sort of thing that would get people to raise questions on corners, you know, and that's what I consider myself doing half the time, is trying to find a way to stimulate, you know, a certain level of conversation and dialogue, you know. But the dialogue that I aim to bring about is, yeah, I'd like to discuss the usage of the term, but not in a subjective way where I want to discuss the usage so that we can dismiss it. But we can discuss the usage of it all day, but can we do that objectively? You know? Fact of the matter is, it makes a lot of people uncomfortable. So does my history. Cool. You know? I mean, who says, you know, the whole fairness thing, so what? It's not fair that this is my history. You know, like there's nigga all day as far as I'm concerned. On Tuesdays. Just during Black History Month. You know, I mean, like, to me, it's as absurd as Black History Month. I mean, I really don't know. But also, there's a part of me that could give a fuck. You know? Because I know that there are some, I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing to see cats completely just stripped of everything. And stripped, you know, by having that word held at point blank range to their heads. And then using that one thing they have, which is, and the other thing is this. We have to remember that I'm not certain you know the history of the word nigger, or any of us do. You know, the Niger existed way before white people came to Europe. And it was called the Niger by the indigenous African people. So that perhaps the reason why it sticks to our tongue so much is it may be the only African, you know, word left. Nobody wants to think of it that way, but it's as much of a possibility as anything else. Just like okay has Native American origins. You know? It may cling to us because it's the only word of, you know, of indigenous origins left in our vocabulary. That may be it. It didn't start with white people. So I don't know. Your own discretion. If you know, if you think you won't get hit, I don't know. I mean, that's on you. I really don't know. I mean, that's my true answer is I don't know. I don't know. But I'm not going to sit up here as, you know, the educated, I have my master's, and now, you know, like, I think we should do away with the word nigger because da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm not certain about that. I'm not certain. I don't think... Show me a history of something else where we've gotten away with something by simply erasing a word. Is it that simple? Will that do away with the sentiment too? You know? I'm not certain of that. I'm just not. So, and it's also something that has, I mean, like, Richard Pryor just died. Richard Pryor is the one who made the word nigger sexy to people. For real. Before Richard Pryor, nigger wasn't falling off everybody's lips like this. It wasn't. Richard Pryor, like, made it this, and people started saying, you know, loving how it sounded. I grew up wanting to say, I wasn't allowed to say it by my dad. But I'd be in the barbershop, like, you know, because everybody would be like, nigga, you know you can't. And to me, in words, you know, everything. I'm a wordsmith. That was one of the words that was, like, amazing. Wow. All the different usages. Like, I wanted to do that and curse. You know, daily. You know? I'm not certain. I'm not certain about the so-called N-word and what should be done with it. I'm more of an observer. And I've observed that as much, you know, we can heighten this discussion as much as we like, but it's hanging around, and it's not coming out of white mouths as much as it's coming out of black mouths right now.
Yeah, just behind closed doors.
I said as much.
I passed.
Huh?